Okay, welcome back. Now let's deal with the steps section. This section has two sides, the left and the right. The right contains three rows, each of which has image, heading, and text. The left contains some of our reusable pieces, the tagline, our button block. So we have just a few things to work on here. So let's get to work. So back in the index.html, Ctrl V to paste the content. Let's quickly run through the selectors. So I have steps, apply, and of course you already understand this, so there's no point going over them again. The FL call, the W5, this is WD5 actually. So I have two articles where that represent the left column, and I think I made the same mistake here, WD5, and these represent the right column. The left column is steps TST that contains tagline, heading tertiary, and the emphasis within the heading tertiary stress. And of course, pmain that is already styled. And finally, our button block being reused here again. So there's nothing we need to do here. It's already styled. So now let's go to the home.scss and begin to work on those. So what do? Steps. Within that steps, I have TST. I hope I'm correct. Yeah, TST. And I have the other one, list. So let me create those first. I'm creating these things that even if I don't have any styles to specify for them in the desktop version, when we want to go responsive, I will certainly have something to write in there. So now within the text, I have the tagline. So all I need to do is to say tagline and include it because it's a mixing. That include tagline. That should be it. Now for our steps, I need to set the justify content to space between. If I give that a save, we should already have something to behold. If I refresh now, okay, so we already have our button and now the tagline has kicked in. So let's take care of this and give it space between this paragraph and the block containing the buttons. So I have the class stress. What is it? Let me show you that. It's this. That is tiled with the orange color. So there, I have a font size because it's bigger than the heading tertiary of 4M. And I have a color font style of italics. I have a font weight bold, and to give that space between the paragraph and the bottom block, I just need to target pmain and say, let me give it up and down, margin, say 2rem up and down, 0 left and right. If I save now, you have something close to what you have in the finished version. Oh, this one has to be block, set to block the display. Display block. Good. Let's say the finished version. Okay, I think the gap isn't that much. Let me reduce that to say probably 1rem. Okay. Now, so let's look at this. And if I take a look at this, we already have FL row to read. So with that done, let's start with the list. So in the list, let me say border 1 pixel, solid, red for debugging purposes, so I can see the outline of that right column. Next, target a card. Let me be sure that's what it is. Yeah, steps card. And if I hover over it, yeah, steps card. If we check the card from the HTML, you see that right now I've not applied any of my utility to it, but I can do so by say FL call to it. After all, that's the reason we created those utility classes. Of course, okay, I actually have applied to the other two. I guess I missed it out in the last one. Even this one too, FL call, like so. Let me save that. Okay, so now in the list, because it's a flex container, for first, let me put a border there so we'll see the outline. 1 pixel, solid red. This is just for debugging. Now, what I want is that the content in this list should be justified to the end of that container. If I were using the float system, I would have said float right. So, but in this case, what I would do is to say justify content flex end. And I hope you understand what I'm doing here. Anyway, you might not know now, but let's continue. The next thing is, let me target a card. If you look at the HTML now, this is a flex container. That's the card, and it's inside the list. The list is a flex container. The card is a flex item, but again, it's also a flex container. For you to see what I'm trying to do, let's say width equals to 70%. And I'm not sure I did this in the finished version, but I'm in a different mode altogether now. So width is 70%, and by setting this justify content to flex end, this thing should flow to the right. Let me give it a border so we can see it. 1 pixel, solid. Let me just say blue. Let's take a look. Okay, so here it is. Now, this is actually a line item that I wanted to do here. A line item. Okay, not justify content. Okay, so when you look at it, because flex direction is column, a line item, or when flex direction is column, the horizontal axis is the cross axis, not the main axis. But when flex direction is row, the cross axis is the vertical axis, not the horizontal. So for me to center an element, an item, in a flex container that has flex direction set to column, I will have to use align item center. So if I use center here now, let me show you something, because I'm not sure I did this in the finished version. Let's see what we get. You see that it stays at the center, but I have a design that I want the left items to stay aligned across all these sections. You can see so that they stay aligned, and I'm trying to achieve the same thing for the right side of each section. But if I check the finished version, I'm not sure I did that. I'm not sure you can see that it doesn't actually align with the right side of it, because here I have it at the center. Okay, but like I said, I'm in a different mode, so I am positioning it based on my mode right now. I want it to be at the end so that it aligns with the other section of, flex end, like so. So within the card, I actually have card image, right? And if you look at the finished version, that card IMG, I think is this cyclic, is this circle with the color primary in it. Now, so the card also has a background color of color white. Color white for the background color. Margin bottom, so they don't touch each other. 2rem. What else should I want there? I think I apply a box shadow actually. If you look at the finished version, you see a box shadow there. And we use the box shadow we have saved already. Box shadow. and I want a pattern so they don't touch the content in it, don't touch, let's say 2 rem. If I check that now, okay, well actually the steps actually have a background color that's yet to be applied. That's why we didn't see it. So get background color. It's color tertiary. Okay, so that's there now. And inside the card is where I have that card IMG, this, and inside it the image itself. So I can actually access this, and using the fact that it is card IMG, I can just do this IMG. If I hover on it, no, this is not what I want to do. If I hover on it, then I have card IMG. So what I want there, say I want a margin top of 2 rem. I want to set this display to flex. But now you know a flex item can also be a container. Justify content to center, and I will explain later. Align item also to center. I want a width of say maybe 8 rem. Height of 8 rem also. And I want border radius 50%. I want its background color tertiary. And finally, like we did in the services, its position has to be relative for us to be able to position the image the way we have it positioned right now. And within it now is where we have the image. So I can access that like this. IMG. And I can say width. Thirteen rem. Height. About 9 rem. position is absolute. Okay, so where would we want to position it now? If we look at the final version, let's say the final version first. It's here from okay. So let me say top. I want it -1, right? And say right. -5. Okay. Close that. Okay. Meanwhile, let me take out the border that I have applied for the bobbin there. Okay. But right now, I'm actually feeling that I could position this content at the center. Rather than being at the left side here. Of course, that's how we have it in the finished version also. Okay, but right now my mode is let's have it at the center. So let's get to that. Yan, yan. And to do that, what property do I have to? And to do that, what property do I have to apply? Knowing that this card now has, where's the card? This is the card. Okay, this is the card. Right now, its flex direction is column. So what do I have to do to make the content stay at the center? Well, if you say align items, then you'll be right. So all I need to say is align item and say center. That will have the content inside stay at the center. Let's check that. This is how we are now, right? Fine. Good. So you see, it's at the center. Because when flex direction is column, align item is what makes the content inside stay at the center horizontally. All right. But in the case of flex direction row, it is justified content that give you the same alignment. This thing could take a while for you to get the hang on it. All right. So, but this is how you do it. And let me check the finished version. Okay. So I may want to also add a border radius, kind of a tiny border radius to that card. So let me see border radius. And let me use 2 rep this time. Now let me stay with 1 rem that I'll be using all along. What's happening there? I see border radius now. And I have 2 rem. Why is it getting applied in another place? And see here, I can see border radius. Okay, so but if you look at that, is this one more appealing than have it like this? Somehow I'm feeling it is no, but at the same time, I'm thinking that it look more appealing like this. Okay, so let me leave it like this. But again, there is still a border radius to be applied to the step container. And again, if you look at this left side and compare with this, you see it's still at the center. And I'm sure you know what to do in both cases. So let's get that done. So for the step, what I just need to do is to add that border bottom right radius and say 30 rem. Good, 30 rem. So now I have to go back to the first one, which is TST, right? That's the one that contained the test. What is it? That's this one. Okay. And align it to stay at the center. So I can say to make it stay at the center compared to the other flex item, I just need to say align self center. Let's check that. And there you go. So you see it stay at the center. Oh, I think I put the border radius in the wrong place. Okay, so but this is now at the center just as it is here. All right, so let me check the border radius. Oh, sorry, I did border top instead of border bottom. Probably you have seen it already. And if I save that now, oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong place. Now, I have it in the right place. Okay, and when you check now, except for the fact that this time the content here is at the center of the card, as against being at the left in the finished version, we have both versions exactly the same. And that brings us to the end of this section. Next, we'll consider the testimonials.